Hi guys, welcome back to another video. So this one is my September favorites. It was a long month. I started university again. I'm in my third year of my bachelor's degree. So it's been a couple rough first weeks, I'm gonna have to say. But the first 2 weeks of September, I actually was just trying to enjoy the rest of my summer. So I played a lot of games, I watched a lot of movies, I even read a book. I know, wild. So yeah, I thought I would just tell you all about the things I did this month and tell you why they were fun. So I'm probably going to start with the games category. So I finished quite a few games. They're mostly really short games. I would say tops like 10 hours maybe. That's pushing it a bit, but probably 10 hours. So the first one was Children of Silent Town. I had this game in my favorites, like in my wish list to get for a few years now. The first time I heard about the game, and the game sounds really nice. It's a click and point type of game, but you're playing as a little girl in this town. And the whole story is basically that you cannot make any sound. You cannot. Music is not a thing that people listen to. You talk in whispers because you're living close to a forest where there are monsters that will get you if you talk really loudly. And that's the whole premise of the game. You're trying to be silent throughout the game and trying to figure out about all the monsters in the forest. There are certain times where you feel like you're gonna be caught by them, and then there's like different chapters throughout the whole game, and it all summarizes to a point where you actually meet up with the monsters and you try to figure out what the hell is happening and why are people disappearing from town because of these monsters in the forest, and you're just a tiny girl trying to figure everything out. The game has, if I'm not mistaken, three endings. And depending on what you do, there's obviously different outcomes to the game. But I'm pretty sure it's the deciding point of what happens is literally at the end. You decide by yourself what you want to do with all the information you got throughout the game, and it's overall. I feel like I was a little bit disappointed by the ending. I felt like there should only have been one ending, but I'm kind of an idealist, so maybe that's a me problem. But yeah, the game was fun. I'm not sure how I would rate it, but it was overall a really nice experience to be able to play after so many years of wanting to. The next one I played was A Little to the Left. I'm pretty sure if you're into cozy games and watch a lot of like these little playthroughs on YouTube, you've heard of this game. But it's also a clicking and pointing game. It's an organizing type of game. You get different types of puzzles where you have to do different types of things to organize the pieces that are shown to you. It's not a puzzle type, it's literally an organizing type. So if you have different sized books being shown to you, you will maybe organize them by color or maybe by height, and that's the whole game. You have a lot of levels. I haven't finished the game. I'm pretty sure there's like hundreds of levels, especially if you get it with the DLC. I felt like it was really nice to just go about your day, get home, play a little bit of the game, just to relax yourself, soothe yourself. At least with me, or for me, it helps, and it's really enjoyable. I liked it. I've also had it in my wish list for quite a bit of time. So yeah, that's it. The next one, I saw this game all over TikTok for months, and I never got to see what this game was all about, but it sounded really interesting, and I just started installing it and tried to see for myself what the game was about. So you're playing as this woman that works in a hotel. You clean rooms, you're basically a cleaner, and you basically go about your day cleaning the rooms of people and learn about their lives. You're someone who really enjoys sneaking through things of other people and try to figure out what their lives are like. And at some point, you start to discover some really interesting secrets of your patrons. I think you can call them that, of your patrons. And suddenly there's a murder, and you have to piece all the pieces together that you have been capturing throughout the whole game of who is the killer. The game is that's how the devs propose this game is about. I feel like you pretty much figure out who the killer is at the moment you see the body, which is pretty obvious because you only know about this murder by the end of the game. You have like an hour left of the game to do or less. So this game being designated per se as a murder mystery, I'm not offended by that, but I feel like the game is a little bit less about that than the other stuff that's going all around the game. You also get to pick some love interests. You can choose between a hostess. She's not the hostess. It's basically your coworkers. You have a woman that is working at the front desk, and you have one male colleague who also works a little bit at the front desk but does a little bit of everything. So you're the cleaner, you have the front desk woman, and then you have like an assistant working at the hotel. You can pick between those two, and throughout the whole game you have some choices you can make whether you end up with one or the other. So I feel like at a midpoint in the game you can still pick between the two. After that I think it gets harder for some choices. Yeah, the game was interesting. It actually took me quite a few hours to finish it. I feel like I would say it took me 3 or 4 hours. I think the game can be finished in an hour and a half or so. You can finish the game pretty quickly. But I am very thorough with searching for things, so I end up taking quite a bit of time doing so. But overall, it was a really nice game, and I would probably play a game similar to this one in the future. And last but not least, I played Thank Goodness You're Here. I thought the game was really funny looking. The design was everything I love about games. Very quirky, very cartoonish. I absolutely love games like that. I also had seen a few funny montages of the game throughout a different social media. But the problem was when I actually started playing the game, I wasn't really that invested in it. I felt like it was quite boring at some points. But it's very straightforward. It's very hard for you to mess up something because you literally cannot continue the game without doing the things before. So I feel like it's very straightforward. If you're not paying attention to what the characters are saying, you might sometimes get a little bit confused, which did happen to me. I'm not very good at keeping myself focused while playing games, so that's probably why I didn't enjoy this game so much. But it was really fun. I loved all the characters. I thought it was really funny. Would I play it again? No. Would I recommend it? Maybe, if you like this type of game and if you don't get bored easily. it was funny. I liked it, and yeah, those were all the games I played this month. I felt like they were really nice. They were basically all cartoonish types of games, so what can I say? I really enjoyed them. So yeah, the next category we have is movies. So I watched quite a few movies. I rewatched 3 movies and watched a new one, which is a compromise in my opinion. So let's see. I watched Up, childhood movie. I just really wanted to rewatch something heartfelt throughout the month, and I picked that one because I didn't really fully remember the whole story correctly, but the whole movie was just very lovely. I enjoyed it quite a lot. It was nice. It was nice to watch. Um, the next one I watched, I was just feeling like watching this movie so much because I loved it the first time I watched it, was Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves. I watched it at the cinema when it came out. I think it was last year. If it wasn't, yeah, it was last year when it came out last year. I was on the day that it came out. I asked my whole group of friends to come watch with me the movie, and at least in my country we had some like limited edition things we could get if we were like the first people to watch the movie, which I didn't think we would be able to get because we were going to be watching like the third or fourth session of the day because of school. But when we got there, I was like, hey, I heard about like these golden tickets that we can get from the premiere. Do you guys still have that? And they actually did. They had tickets for the 12 of us or 14 that went to watch the movie. We also got the movie posters, which I have stashed away for security purposes. And we also got some t-shirts, which I am always wearing. It's really comfortable. And it has the D&D design, it's really cute. So we were able to get all of those things for free. I know, crazy. And I just loved the movie. I felt like it honored all the D&D terms they used and the whole thing they were going for with the movie. It was just lovely. And since I was missing that nostalgia feeling, I just got the movie and watched it, and it was lovely as always. I absolutely devoured that movie, and I can't wait for them to make another one because I just feel like it would be crazy awesome. Like we don't even need like the same actors that did the movie. We don't need the same premise. We just need the people that did this movie to do another one with a different story. That's the whole thing about D&D. You can continue a story with the same characters or just start a new one with other characters, and everyone will enjoy it because if you know what you're doing, everything turns out great, and that's what I'm hoping for. And now, last but not least, I rewatched Beetlejuice with my boyfriend because he had never seen the OG ones. I watched the first one a few years ago because I just want to do a really nice October start, and Beetlejuice was one of my choices. And it's very quirky. It's really nice. It's quite short for movies nowadays. I think it's 1 hour and 20, 1 hour and 30. If it's more than that, maybe I just watched the movie like really fast and I don't see the time passing, but I felt like it was really nice. And the next day, like the next afternoon after watching this movie at night, we went to watch the Beetlejuice movie with another friend, and we were very on sync with the outfits. I was wearing greens. My boyfriend and our friend were using purple and black. I think we were very synced with the whole theme of the movie. Um, it was really nice. I enjoyed it. I will say I enjoyed the original more, but I felt really happy watching the second one because Beetlejuice had a lot more screen time, and the quality was better. So I feel like both movies are really great in their own ways. So if you ask me to pick one, I cannot pick one, but I felt like both were really good. Next, we have shows. I only have one show to put here, and it's Grey's Anatomy. I'm one of those girls now. I'm starting to go through the whole. I don't want to say. I don't want to say this definition. I'll just say the shows white girls tend to watch. That's fine. I'm a white girl. I don't mind saying that. So I am watching Grey's Anatomy, and maybe soon I will be watching Gilmore Girls. That's fine. Okay. Say whatever you want. I will be watching those because I'm in my white girl era, whatever. I'm gonna watch whatever I want, even though it might be shitty. And actually, I am currently at the beginning of the third season. I know I go through the episodes like crazy. Uh, I'm doing things and I'm like I'm starting to knit. That's also crazy. I'm knitting and I'm watching it. I'm like, okay, I need to like be studying. I put the show on one screen and the other one I do like split, and I'm just typing whatever I need to be typing for school, and I go through the episodes like that because you don't really need to be paying much attention. You know, it's a medical show. You don't understand most of the terms anyway, and they're not very accurate. So yeah, I am watching it. I have a burning hate for most of the characters. There are times where I love them. There are times that I'm like, what the fuck is happening to you? You were so nice last episode. Why are you such a dick now? And I feel like everyone can understand me when I say that. So that's the show. I started watching it. Am I enjoying it? Yes and no. There are days that I do, there are days that I don't. It depends on the episodes. But overall, it's a nice show to be watching while doing other things, you know. Don't really need a lot of attention span for it. Yeah. Now we have music, and there's a new song that I really love this month. And the new song I have is by Paris Paloma. I love her. Like her music is just crazy, and I absolutely love everything she creates. And this song, she started posting snippets of her writing this song a few months ago. Even I can even say that maybe she put a few clips at the beginning of this year, at the ending of the last one. I'm pretty sure it was at the beginning of this one, where she was singing these really interesting lyrics of a song, and it just hits really hard when you listen to it, at least as a woman. And this song was "Last Woman on Earth." Is It has a really deep meaning if you're listening closely about it, and it's wonderful to listen to. It's a really well written lyric, and I loved it. It's really nice. It's a bit depressing at some points if you get the gist, but her vocals are really powerful, and I love that. I felt like it was really nice. And now, my last ish category. I read one book. I'm so proud of myself for reading one book. I started this one in July, probably July. I started this one in July, but I had other things to do in the meantime, so I had to like stop reading it, reread it, stop reading it, reread it, and I ended up not really reading that much of it, so I had to start over. But I finally finished it, and it's Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies, written by Heather Fawcett, and the cover. I really hope you guys are seeing this, because every single time I try to focus the books, it's either clipped because I'm not sure where it's appearing on the screen, because it's a damn cell phone. I cannot see what it's showing, but I hope it's showing the book properly. There you go. Appreciate the cover. Very cute details. It's really nice. So I started this book and I just thought it was so wonderful to read something in fantasy that it's actually like, I'm not going to be saying it's dark fantasy, because it's, in my opinion, it's not dark fantasy. Is it a romantic fantasy? No, it's not, and I absolutely love it for that. Is it a fantasy with romance? Maybe you could say it is. The romance is a really smart part of this book. The fantasy is the focus of this one. So what I'm saying by this is, if you've read any of Holly Black's like older books, like the Spidery Chronicles, maybe we could insert the Cruel Prince trilogy in here, because the creatures shown in those books are fantastical creatures, but they're scary. They are creatures that will hurt you. They're not fae like Sargemas type of fairies. You know, they're not wonderful, glorious men that will take you to their kingdom and love you dearly for life and all eternity. That's not the type of fairies we're talking about. We're talking about scary fairies that will hurt you. And this book is exactly that, and I absolutely love it. So, we're following a professor. Our professor is Emily. She is doing like, it's not a thesis, but she's basically, throughout like the last few years, she has been collecting a lot of information about certain types of fairies in different countries, zones, you would say. So she's going to Land. I'm probably not pronouncing this correctly. I'm really sorry. I don't know how to pronounce it. It's a little country town, whatever, and she's going into a town called Hrafnsvik. I think that's how you pronounce it. Either way, I'll put the names around in the screen so you can understand what the fuck I'm saying. So she goes into that town to study the creatures that are in that zone, because they're not, each town and country has different creatures residing in them, and they all have different things and quirks about them. So she studies those things, and this book is basically about her time there. She also has like a partner, you would say. It's a colleague. She has a colleague at the university she practices at. His name is Wendell. She simply doesn't like him because he tends to be a real ass with her, and Emily isn't really she's not a cold person. I wouldn't say she's a cold person, but she's not very approachable. She tends to mess a bit when she talks with other people and is often misunderstood. She literally only cares about the folklore she's studying, which I guess could be seen as something really bad, but in her mind she's just doing whatever she can to publish her encyclopedia with all the information she's been getting in the different towns and countries she's been to. And basically Wendell comes and kind of destabilizes the whole thing going on for her, and she doesn't like that. I wouldn't like that. I'm trying to do my work and you're messing with it. So at what stance are we? But the book is really good once you start. Like, I would say maybe the first pages are really nice to get into the book. After mark like 30 pages or 40, you're starting to know the characters, and I would say you might get a little bit bored reading those parts. But less than halfway through the book, you start really picking up the pace. You start getting more into the characters, their little quirks, what is going on in town, who are these people, why are they doing certain things, what are the little fairies and folk that are living here, and what are they doing to the town. And I felt like it was a really wonderful read. I was searching for the Del Rey edition because we got this in if you watched my video, I'll probably tag the link here. I bought this at the book fair, and these editions are US editions. We normally don't get these editions in my country. We usually get the UK version. So I really want to get the second book in the US version. And I couldn't find it there anywhere. I tried to search on Amazon. You will not find it at the Spanish Amazon or the UK Amazon, at least the edition I'm going for. And a few days ago, I found it. I found the second edition of, not the second edition, like the US edition of the second book, and I obviously had to get it. So I'll show you in the next video, probably the next video or the one after that. Maybe in the October favorites, who knows? I'll show it eventually on this channel and you will absolutely love it. But that's the book I read this month and I absolutely loved it. And since we're talking about books, I also am going to insert like the miscellaneous category. I only got like a miscellaneous thing this month and it was a book. I got another Penguin classic. I got The Beetle by Richard Mash. Here you go. You can see. It's really nice. It's very simple. But I had this one on my Amazon like wish list for, gosh, maybe since last year, maybe 2 years now. I've had it for a long time because there are certain covers of the paperback that I really enjoy. Not because of the books itself, I'm gonna be honest, I just enjoy the cover. So, and it's a classic and I don't really have that many classics, so I thought I would be adding it to my collection, and it's pretty, so I might as well just read it. And like I got a notification that this book is normally like 10, 13-ish euros on Amazon. It was $2.97 on Amazon, and I was like, excuse me. I was like, they must be messing with me. But probably shipping is gonna be like 6 euros or something, even with Amazon Prime. So I went into my account, I put in my basket, and it was $2.97, and I was like, what the fuck is happening? So I don't know, I'm not sure if they were having a clearance because they had too many of this book. I'm not sure. I'm happy. I got this book basically for free. I'm really glad, and it came in really great condition. It looks, it's pristine. Like it has all the pages marked. It has the contents. It has everything in it. I don't think there's like anything that would be seen as it being like messy or anything. So I'm just glad I got my hands on this one. So that's why you should always do your wish lists. Put the things you want to there, because the things you want will probably be set at a lower price, whether you think they will or not. So, The Beetle. And that's everything for this month's favorite. I look a little messy. I'm tired. I've been studying non-stop for the last few days. It's been catastrophic, but I do hope you enjoyed this video. I yap a lot, but that's the point of you watching my videos, isn't it? You like to watch me yap. So that's my month's favorite. I hope you enjoyed it. Like the video, comment about it, subscribe maybe. I don't know, it helps sometimes. Honestly, if you just view this video for fun, I thank you, because I like to do this. I enjoy yapping, and I enjoy when people comment on my videos and say they liked the yapping I did. So yeah, the last thing, like the weather is turning very gloomy, so there might be a few videos coming your way of this gloomy season, and I hope you stay tuned for it. So if you subscribe, you'll get a notification of that video coming up, so why not just do it? But yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.